Good evening, everyone. How many of you think mental health is important? How many of you think that we all are contributing towards mental health? I think each one of us are doing our best to understand the importance of mental health in ourselves and in our families. Not only that, we also work for the society. And if you find professionals who are connected with mental health, wanting to improve the mental health of one and all, tirelessly working to create awareness, then that's a beautiful thing, right? I agree with each one of you when you think that mental health is important for you, your family members, your friends, and for the community at large. Like this, today we have a wonderful celebrity who is concentrating on mental health. She is a wonderful person connected to her profession, and she really has given her very best till date. We'll get to know more about her, dear friends. She is none other than Dr. Sarbani Laha Samantha. She is joining us all the way from West Bengal, India. We'll get to know more about her. She is a psychologist, a counseling psychologist, and a psychotherapist as well, connected with students and the community at large. Join us to welcome our celebrity and guest who is prioritizing mental health in the right way. Hello, ma'am, and welcome to the session. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey. Thank you for accepting the invitation to the Fab Talks.
Good evening.
Thank you, dear. So, dear friends, I go ahead and share ma'am's profile as I do that always. Ma'am, I go ahead and share your profile and we begin the session.
Sure.
Thank you. Friends, it's time now to share the profiles of our celebrities and guests as I do that every time on the International Fab Talks to make it very clear at the start itself if the session is going to interest you or not. Once you find the profile of our guest interesting, I'm sure you will be glued to your seats till the end to understand what you can get out of this session on the International Fab Talks. As I earlier mentioned, we have with us Dr. Sarbani Laha Samantha. She is a counseling psychologist and a psychotherapist, and she's joining us all the way from West Bengal, India. Which part of West Bengal? Ma'am will share that with us over there. She is the founder and the director of Excello Mind, Unleash Your Potential. She is a counseling psychologist and a psychotherapist as well. She has more than 2 decades of experience, close to 2 decades to put it right, like almost 18 plus years, almost close to 2 decades of experience and expertise in different fields connected to mental health. She worked in various organizations and on various projects. To mention a few is a de-addiction and rehabilitation center, schools, research projects on clinical psychology and other mental health organizations as a counseling psychologist and a psychotherapist. She has completed her MSc in psychology. She specializes in clinical psychology and she's undertaken a course specialization in clinical psychology from the University of Calcutta, that is CU. She's also completed her PhD in psychology, focusing on depression and personality disorder from Calcutta University. To add more to that, she's also a neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, an NLP practitioner. That's really nice. From Mindmaster, Chennai. She's also certified as an advanced play therapist. Wow, that's really nice. From Calcutta, she's been certified in that. She has expertise in individual counseling, group counseling, and organizes various therapy sessions dealing with anger, aggression, stress, management of depression, anxiety, OCD, etc. Panic attacks, you could add more to that, relationship issues, couple counseling, emotional management, etc. She provides individual and group counseling as well and focuses on school students as well on dealing with various academic and behavioral issues like concentration difficulties, aggression, relentlessness, and low self-esteem, restlessness, to put that right, restlessness, low self-esteem, poor communication skills. And I love this. She also focuses on the issue of bullying, which I will be discussing today in depth with her, how to overcome this great problem called as bullying and why does this happen and how we can overcome this issue. She has conducted several workshops in schools on study skills, anger management, goal setting, task management, time management, gender issues, etc. And to add to the list, there's a lot that she has been contributing till date. She has conducted several webinars on various topics of mental health. She has conducted both online and offline internship programs with psychology students pursuing graduation and post-graduation. Students across the globe have benefited from her skills and her passion with regard to the mental health stream. Students from South Central University, that is China, Amity University, Calcutta University, IGNU, Utkal University, Sister Nivedita University, Christ University, etc. All these students have benefited a lot by connecting with our celebrity guest. She is none other than Dr. Sarbani Laha Samantha. And she provides training on cognitive behavioral therapy. That's really nice. And much, much more into Mandela art as well, basic counseling skills. And very nice. She helps people to identify their strength within them, and she helps them to cope with all the challenges that they could face in life. That's really very, very interesting. We'll get to know more about her as to why has she chosen the field of psychology. That's the main question. Why does one choose this zone of mental health? Why does one want to focus on mental health so much and want to heal the world? You have to be healers. You have to be people who would really focus on mental health than on their materialistic things. We would love people to bond and network and help people overcome all the negative emotions and the negative thoughts in their mind. So today we have a wonderful session with our celebrity guest. How would you define yourself, ma'am, for us? Who is the real Dr. Sharbani?
Yes. So thank you so much. And actually, I love my field just because that I want to explore human mind. Okay, and that is a very interesting part for me. I started studying psychology when I was in class 11. So, from that year, I really love the subject. So, first of all, that love for the subject, that passion for the subject, and to know the human behavior, to explore the human behavior, that actually helped me to be in this line. And now, currently, I'm doing all these sessions, and cognitive behavioral therapy is really my special mode of that therapeutic mode, and I mostly practice that CBT.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing all of that. Thank you so much for introducing yourself in a very brief way. Many of the people out there would like to get a clear concept with regard to CBT, that is cognitive behavioral therapy. Actually, what it is and who could come forward and avail this counseling session with you.
Yeah, sure. Actually, we operate from our thought process. The way we react, suppose a client having anger or anxiety, these all are the emotions. And emotions actually come from our thought process, the way we think, the way we interpret the world. Okay, so and that actually reflected in our behavior. So that is the actually main concept of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive, that means that our thinking, the way we think, and behavior. So we know that the behavior, that our emotions, that is actually reflected through our behavior. So if we are able to change our thought process, so definitely we will be able to change our emotions as well as the behavior. So that is the main concept of cognitive behavioral therapy. So to deal with that patients in with this CBT mode, so naturally we focus on the thought process. That emotions are very important. How that thought process are created. That thought process definitely created from the belief system. That comes actually from the belief system, and that belief system actually is connected with our upbringing. That is our nature and nurture. Okay, so mostly in CBT, we deal with the thought process.
Yes.
We identify the negative thinking and we make our client to realize that the negative thinking pattern, the patterns of thinking that impacted their behavior.
Thank you for explaining that, very briefly and very crisply as well. Very clearly, you've explained that. I've been asking this question to many of the guests, and I guess today you've given us the correct clarity as to what CBT is. That's really nice. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now, what we'd love to know is who should come forward and take this therapy? Because there are people who will be confused. They don't even know that they are the ones who should come for the CBT therapy. If you can share that.
CBT is for everyone. Like anger issues, that is also dealt with CBT. Stress management, that also we can deal with CBT. Okay, so CBT is for everyone. Depression, mostly actually, CBT comes with the depression phase. Actually, if a person having depression, so generally, initially, it was developed with for curing depression. But nowadays, it has a wide applicability. Like personality disorder cases, also we can administer that CBT. We can do with CBT. Anger management, as I said, stress management, that anxiety management. Even with students, also we can do CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, because whatever is our behavior, that dysfunctional behavior, that actually come from the thinking. Whatever behavior that we are displaying, if it is not in a socially appropriate way, right? So definitely this way that CBT is very much applicable in all the population.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now we'll talk about bullying, which is very close to my heart because I have seen from close quarters students being bullied and suffering from severe depression, unable to overcome what they have faced from the bullies. Now, my question here is, why do people bully, or why do students bully or their peers?
Yes. So now bullying is really nowadays a very challenging situation, because now the person who is bullied by other, okay, that means somehow the person is not able to cope with the situation. Like maybe the major part is that confidence, self confidence. Okay, so one major part of bullying is that reason is that lack of self confidence to that person who is bullied by the other. And that persons who are, we call the bystander, who are just seeing the incident, there also is a maybe that fear factor is there, so they are not able to protect or protest against that bullying. And another is that who bully the bullied, that means that person, he or she has a power showing, power craving tendency, maybe a heroine type ka or heroic a tendency. Okay, so somehow maybe that person also is having that inferiority complex. Maybe the person is having lots of that inner issues which is not resolved. Maybe the parents are, that person's parents are, they are very much aggressive type parents, authoritarian parents. Okay, so that children having a tendency to show their power to that persons to whom they consider they are weak, emotionally weak, not able to protest. So this type of person actually is a victim of that bullying incident.
Yes. Now, ma'am, you've been connected with schools, with colleges, and with students. Now, when you give them sessions or take sessions with them, do you find a change in their thought process? Are they able to change? Has there been an effect of a psychologist on students when there is a session, or a webinar or something like that, or maybe a live session with them? Is there a change? Do they come up with questions? Do they accept that they have been bullying somebody? Do they want to overcome this phase of bullying someone?
Yes, yes. Because first of all, you know that in counseling sessions, first thing is that we need to establish a good rapport with the client, a trustable rapport. Okay, when that is established, then they want to share their incident, because they also want to share that the whatever that happening with them. Okay, so they share. But the thing is that, ma'am, how do I deal with it? Their question mark is like this. I want to deal with it, but I don't know how do I deal with it, with this incident, with that bullying. And that actually impact my self-esteem at all. Right. So now the thing is that how to deal with that. First of all, we need to make clear the person's communication style. Maybe that person, that child is having a very passive way of communication, right? Not an assertive way of communication. The first thing we need to focus on their communication style, how they communicate with others. Okay, their self esteem definitely is going down because of that bullying incident. They may feel that, and this is absolutely that is associated with their thinking, because they sometimes they may feel that I cannot handle it. I am like this. My situations will be going on this way. Like, I am not good enough. So, this type of that negative thought pattern they are having. That is the reason that they are not able to protest. प्रोटेस्ट करके तो कोई फायदा नहीं होगा, because I cannot do it. They are much more powerful than me, more powerful than me. So their thought process is like this, and they obviously they operate from this thought process. So naturally, they are not able to even speak. Right. So now our task is to make them realize that whatever the negative thinkings they are having, to make them realize about their thought process. Because of that thought process, and not able to then protest against them. So now deal with the thought process first. And at the same time, their communication style definitely needs to be enhanced. That is, they need to learn the assertive ways of communication. Through role play, also, we can do in the counseling session how you can interact with people, how you can protest when that bullying happens with you.
Yes, dear. Thank you, Dr. Sarbani. Thank you. What I'd like to now ask you is, Do you even counsel the school management, the team of teachers, the staff members, because they have to also be counseled, because they take things lightly. They think it's not everyone, a few of them, whoever takes it lightly. And some of the school managements don't give importance to mental health. They only focus on marks, right? And they give
Absolutely.
importance to only those students who are scoring, and then that's the cream layer, and then they leave the rest of them. Certain institutions, we are not naming any institution, we are just at in a general way trying to share this. So what I'm asking you here, ma'am, is do you take sessions for the staff members, for the school management, for them to understand the importance of mental health when they deal with students, when they deal with parents, and when they deal with one another in the school and colleges?
Yes,
Over to you.
definitely. Hmm. Definitely, I do counsel with the that teachers also, parents. So definitely teachers, and that even with the principal also. And I need to share that why the students is having this type of low self-esteem. What make him or her be like this? So teachers counseling session and even teachers workshop also is very important in school, in every school. Okay, and I do provide this type of counseling with teachers, with broader management also sometimes if needed.
Excellent, excellent, ma'am. In fact, every school should take the advantage of connecting with this right kind of psychologists, getting them over there inside the school or colleges, and letting them take a session for students, for teachers, for the entire management, right? It's not just only the marks, it's not only just the overall show, but the inner core of that institution has to be strong. That's really nice. So giving importance to a psychologist is very important, a psychotherapist, etc., a mental health professional. Ma'am, we'll talk about your journey as an NLP practitioner. Now, what is this? I've heard of the term NLP. I've heard many of them sharing it. I would like to hear it once again from you in very simple words, like the way you explained CBT for us. I'd like you to explain what is NLP and how one could benefit from an NLP session.
Yes. So NLP, that means neuro linguistic programming. Neuro, that means when we think, that comes from our neurology, right? So that is the neuro. And language, here language, that means our emotions. That is the language. And programming, that means how that it occurs in our brain. Okay, so that is that neuro linguistic programming. So these things are connected. Actually, when we say that CBT, we know that CBT, that is the C is the cognition, that is the thinking process. In NLP is, although the concept is the same, that is the neurology, that means the way of thinking. How do we interpret the situation? And we interpret in NLP, we interpret the situation based on our five senses. Okay, so in NLP, the very the technique is that visualization technique, so that we actually do from our subconscious mind. Mostly our activity comes from our subconscious mind. Okay, so in NLP techniques, there are lots of techniques are there. Mostly the every techniques and the visualization form. Okay, so when we visualize, suppose for example that in case of the performance anxiety, and it's very common, the person is having a that any kind of performance anxiety. Let's say that public speaking. Okay, so in case of public speaking, that means a fear is there. Maybe the person is very good in speaking. When the person speaks with his friends, that he or she is very good in speaking, but in front of the public, when there is an unknown person, the person is not able to speak properly. So now what we do in NLP, that is through a visualization techniques, we instruct them just to close your eyes and just you see that you are presenting your paper or your research topic in front of the unknown people, that audience. And as much as possible, the details you have to recall. Like where are you, that your dress, that room, color of the room. These are called the modalities and the sub modalities. These are very important because when we gather some informations, we actually gather it with our five senses. So the color of the room also is very important. Okay, so this way that visualization is the major technique in NLP, neuro linguistic programming. So through visualization, they practice it in the session. Ki how do I overcome that fear? Okay, then after several sessions in that counseling session, then they will be very much habituated to speak in the real situation.
Thank you, Dr. Sarbani. Thank you so much for sharing that in a very brief way, but of course with lots of clarity. Thank you very much. I'd love to know more about Mandela art therapy. Like I've heard about it, I've seen it as well. I'd like to have more information from you. What is it that you're going to share with us, and how is it going to affect a person? Are there positive benefits if one undertakes the Mandela art therapy?
Mandala art therapy is another a beautiful techniques, no doubt, because sometimes no, we suppress our emotions. Okay, we suppress our emotions, and that we maybe when the emotions suppress, that we are not able to then speak properly, not able to express our emotion. So mandala through the color, actually color signifies the different emotions, and emotions, that comes from the amygdala, which is a part of our brain. Okay, so like color also, that also touch that area of our brain. So this way, when we put different colors on the mandala, this way actually we are expressing our emotions. Okay, so it is very effective in several cases with aged person with children. That is also is very effective. But one thing is very clear, that you need to do it according to your own willingness is very much required to do the mandala. We cannot force to do the mandala, so that it won't be effective. So willingness to do the therapy, mandala art therapy, is very important. And every color signifies a particular type of emotions. Okay, so now our instruction is to, the mandala is a beautiful drawing. So first of all, we just instruct our client to do the coloring, not the drawing. It's available in Google also, net different site. There are lots of mandala PDF are available, so they can get the printout and do the coloring, whatever color they like. That means they are expressing their emotions this way. So it actually works from our brain, and
Thank
this
you.
way, day by day, if they are able to practice mandala, it's definitely will help them. Then there is another part is the healing process. Then we instruct few particular color, maybe blue, maybe pink. Okay, so as I said that every color is associated with emotions. So if we say that the client is a very depressed type, so generally for cooling down, blue is a color of that sea, and it's that gives a cool impact, cool effect. So we can provide that. We can suggest that use the blue, different shades of blue you can use. So that is actually a healing purpose. So one is that your expression of your emotions, that will come out through the colors, and second is the healing part. Both the way mandala is effective.
Thank you, Dr. Sarbani. You explained that so well. It's really very nice. Thank you so much. There's a certain person who I know, when he or she, I wouldn't want to mention the gender, when he or she observes a certain color, they start feeling dizzy when they look at that color. So, what has this relation to do with the color and the dizziness? Like they see certain colors, they just can't stand it. Immediately, they have to take off their eyes from that color. Like they're not able to view that. Is it something physiological or psychological? I don't know. So, I would like to ask you that.
Both the cases it can happen. So we need to check, is there any physiological issues are there. Okay, so that also we need to check it. Okay, and other is that maybe that color, if it happens with a particular color, so we need to talk with the client. There are actually lots of reasons are there behind it. Reasons are very subjective. Okay, so we need to check out whether any physiological problems, issues are there or not, and then we focus on that. Maybe in case of anxiety, severe anxiety, it can happen, that dizziness. Okay, so then we need to check that mental health condition also.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Sharwani. Thank you very much. Now, what I'd like to ask you is, we have seen several people who have faced a lot of domestic violence. Either of the genders will not be here, siding only women. Even men do face a lot of gender violence, or maybe domestic issues, domestic violence, to put that right. All genders do face that. Now, what I want to ask you is here, ma'am, can one heal violent violence issues? Like, can they forget what happened to them and restart a new life, or will they get flashbacks even after therapy? Is there
Yes.
something like a complete cure for what has happened to them and to move on to the next?
Understood, understood. Actually, in case of domestic violence, it's a very sensitive issue, right? But though they never forget that incident, they can remember. But now they are remembering maybe, but that doesn't impact their life further. Okay, that we can do, but forgetting is not possible. Like so, what we can do is that we all have few strength, good qualities, right? So we just trying to focus on his or her good qualities. These are the things that we can do, you can do, and we all have few strength, good things, and few areas of improvement. So we're trying to focus, let them focus on their good things. Whatever the good that whatever the factors that you can do, focus on this factor. At the same time, definitely the other things that you know that I need to improve this thing, maybe anger, and I want to improve my anger. Definitely we will identify your that good things as well as areas of improvement. So when we focus on this thing that you can do it, and again the same thing that from the belief they started believe this way, yes, now I can do, I can lead my own life in my own way. Okay, so this way they can come out from that violence, that episode. Okay, but they are not able to forget it, but we focus on that other things, other positivity.
Yes, dear. Thank you, doctor, for sharing that. There are some people who mask their pain very well when they come out in the public or when they meet people. They just appear very normal. Nothing is wrong with them. People think that everything is going fine for them. But once they are in their four walls, in their own space, all alone, they are down deep, sad, hurt, depressed, not wanting to show up again to the world, not wanting to connect with people. But again, they rise up from there and they face the world. They just put on a mask, to be very honest. They just mask their pain and show that they are happy. And we have seen many of them committing suicides also. They might have enjoyed a party very well, they might have been smiling and having fun, but the very next day you might see the same person has committed suicide. So can you throw some light on this? What type of behavior is this, or how one in the family should be, or the family members should be aware of such things and try to save their family members or loved ones?
Exactly. That actually come from that suppression of the emotion. Maybe since the childhood they are habituated to suppress their emotion. Now they, as you said, that their inside is something else, and their behavior, they are showing their behavior like a very cheerful, nothing happened, a very cheerful type of person. Okay, so that actually it's really very dangerous, and they are mostly having that suicidal attempt or maybe suicidal thoughts, because how long one can suppress their emotion. Okay, in such situation, so definitely we need to help them to express first, maybe through drawing, or in such situation that mandala is very effective. Okay, mandala art therapy is really very effective for this. This way they are able to at least express themselves. Or some people, if they are very good in drawing, so they can draw anything. And I have seen a case that that person, as you said, that just likely like this, that child is having, not child, adolescent, but she's having a depression and that breakup issues and all. And when she came in the counseling session, so she is very good in painting. So her painting is like, it's very beautiful, but it's a very bloody everywhere that murder happens or something negative happens, किसी का गला टूट गया, like this type of. So now we can see from the portrait that the whatever that emotional issues that is happening with this girl. Okay, so this way they are actually expressing their pain. And another thing I want to mention that someone may be having the wrist cutting, that self-harming tendency. And few people, maybe their parents or other authority, they can see it like it's nothing, it's just a attention-seeking tendency. But this is not at all attention-seeking tendency. They are actually communicating this way. Ki, I'm having a pain. Please help me. This is actually is a their help seeking, that tendency that is there. They are actually seeking the help from the adult, from their parents. So in that situations, definitely we need to be aware of this thing, of the circumstances. If a person is having this type of self cutting or any kind of that self injurious tendency, And that time we help the client to open up, maybe with parents or with friends, whoever needs to open up, help them to open up. That create we need to develop, that environment we need to create with them. Okay, that is a major point, that uh, this way. And this is, that these are the few warning signs and symptoms we see. Like if a person is suicidal type, so maybe before that some things that parents can observe, or the significant other persons can observe with them. So these things that is really important for them, that the family member need to aware of this.
Yes, doctor. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. Sarbani. What I'd like to share with you now is there are students, there are youngsters who have always connected with me and they have said, like, I am suffering not because of my own actions, I'm suffering because of my parents. They are not the ones giving me peace at home. They are not the ones who have to, I mean, stand by us or give us a good example. Like, I am suffering just because of my parents. Like many of them. Everything is okay with me, with my studies, with my friends. I have no problem. I have problem with my parents. And my mental health condition is like this because my parents have been the main cause of what I am today. If I'm in a wreck, it's because of my parents. Like many of them have complained like this. What do you have to say, and how can we cure these youngsters?
First of all, we need to understand that the connection between parents and that child. Okay, that connections. How is that connection? Okay, this is her perception, or maybe this is really that is a true incident. Okay, if possible, we call the parents to solve the issues. That intraparental conflict also we need to check whether there is any intraparental conflict is there or not. So these all these things are very much related to this child. Okay, so in such situation, definitely we need to focus on parental factor and the daughter child, that relationship, daughter or son, whoever, but the parental and child, the relationship factor is very important. And to at the same time, if we think that the no, parents are somehow maybe not maybe that much bad at he or she perceive our parent, okay, his or her parents, in that situation, so we need to then that negative perception, we need to diffuse that negative perception about his or her parents. Okay, so this is one thing intervention we can do. If it's really true, parents are really a very different type of parents, so in such situations we need to sensitize that parents towards the daughter or son.
Yes, dear. Thank you so much, ma'am. Do you think when you counsel parents, do you think there is a change in the parental behavior towards their children? Because nowadays, what we've heard, parents are quite selfish or maybe self-centered, to put that right. So they just don't want to give their all to their children. They want to think about themselves. They want to move on in their own lives. Like they hardly have time, or maybe they don't want to give their entire life just because of their children. Because one fine day the children will fly off the nest and they will be left alone. So they would love to move on and do their own stuff. So how would you like
Yes.
to answer this?
Yes, though there are various reasons behind it. If you see that the parents are very neglecting type, I mean, spending their own life in their own way, not to that take care of their child, but we need to find out the first of all the reason behind it. We can say that you need to spend time with your with your child. That is a quite that in parenting sessions we say like this. But at the same time, what are the difficulties that they are facing? So there are maybe the various reasons are there. Maybe really parents sometimes also that single parent in case of single parent. And I have a case in this type of case that the child, that mother is a single mother, and she's really struggled a lot to take care of her daughter. So really she doesn't have time to take care of her son, of her child. Okay, so in such situation, that we sensitization to the child, that also we need to provide, because we that time also we need to sensitize the child towards their parents, that issues, if really that issues are genuine issues, so this way we need to sensitize that child towards their parents. Or vice versa, if you think that a mother or father, whoever is really busy with their own dunya, own work, So this way also we need to then talk to their parents, and that impact, how their child getting impacted by their behavior, that also we need to explain to them.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. Another big question that I'd like to pose today is adults, adult children should be given counseling based on forgiving their parents. Their parents might have hurt them when they were children, but now I think counseling these adult children and enabling them to forgive their parents and continue the journey of life, not holding any grudges against their parents. So, how would you like to take this question? And have you held any sessions for the adult children? Because many of the adult children are unforgiving. They abandon their parents and they say that you did not care for us when we are young. Why do we give our time and energy now to you? We rather look after that parent who has been good to us. We'll give our all to the parent who was with us throughout our childhood. You neglected us, so we want to cut off ties with you. Can we have something like a forgiveness session, maybe? Would that help for children to bond with their parents? Of course, parents are parents towards the end, right? Over to you.
Yes. So in such situation, definitely that forgiveness, though we can provide this type of session to the child, because as you said, that parents though are parents. Okay, maybe they also having few difficulties in their life. In lots of cases that I have seen that they really have some difficulties, or maybe a father is very rigid type, or maybe mother is very rigid type, and that environment is also like this. If you make any mistake, though you will be then punished. Okay, this type of environment is there, maybe their upbringing is like this. Okay, so in such situation, forgiveness, and why you will forgive your parents, that also we need to explain to them why your parents having this type of behavior. That also they need to know, they have the right to know. Then we focus on that parents, that upbringing. Maybe that parents, dadaji, he also may be like this. Okay, so that from that behavior, your parents, your father also having this type of rigid tendency. Okay, lots of, as you said, it's very common that lots of cases that we have seen this type of that issues that actually happening between parents and their daughter or son, child. Okay, so this way also they need to know, they need to understand why my parents are like this. Then they will be able to accept it. Okay, so what we do is that I do especially that acceptance. Help them to accept their parents as they are. Okay, or help them to accept their husband or wife as they are.
Yes, dear. If anyone would like to connect with you now with regard to uh, forgiving their parents, they want to take a therapy session with you, or if couples want to patch up or maybe like to forget their differences and have a counseling session together, as you give group sessions, individual sessions as well as couple sessions you undertake. So, if they would love to connect with you, how do they connect with you? What is the easiest way to reach out to you?
Acha, that is that couple counseling you are talking about?
Yeah,
Couple counseling.
couple
Okay.
either couple counseling or individual counseling, like for the adult children, if they would like to go for a session where they would like to forgive their parents, what is the easiest way, which is the easiest therapy to take and forgive their parents and live that life towards the end with their parents, because parents are aging quickly and you never know when they will lose their parents. And I've even heard this, doctor, many of them sharing on this platform as well. I feel very bad that I was unable to forgive my parents, or I was unable to ask forgiveness from my parents. It was too late, and they have that guilty feeling. So, how do they connect with you, if at all they want a session with you with regard to any of the services that you are providing?
That is that connect, when they are missing that connection somehow. Though this way, that we focus on that connection, connectivity. In case of parents also, first, if they see that my daughter or son, they are not listening to me. So this type of why it happens, because of the lacking the connection, they are missing the connection somehow. They feel disconnected with their parents. So in such situation, now rebuild that connection. So help the parents to first rebuild that your connection with your son or daughter, okay, with your child. That is major important part that parents needs to do. Maybe that the child is liking that video game. So talk to them with the video game also. because that is that liking areas. So whatever that liking areas that the child is having, so parents also need to involve with it. Then they create the connection with their child, and then the child will listen to them. Somehow child is not listening, that means somehow they feel disconnected with parents. If parents are always telling paro paro, you need to study, they know I have to study, but maybe always they are not able to study or don't have the interest to study. Okay, so they are not listening, they are getting adamant also. Okay, so somehow they are missing the connection. So rebuild your connection with your child.
Yes, doctor. Just before I have this session with you, I was speaking to one of my cousins, and he was telling me that his teenage son is very, very aggressive, speaks very harshly to the parents, and the mother is very sick. She is undergoing a treatment. She is not well since the past 6 months, and the boy is unable to understand. The boy is not able to understand the problem that's going on at home. He's very harsh when he gives replies either to his mother or father. So this cousin of mine was sharing this with tears in his eyes just about an hour ago before I could start the session. So how would you look at this, and what is the best way we could help this boy to give his attention and love to the mother who is slowly losing on life? She's toward the end stages of her life.
So that is so really very sensitive. Yeah, so for that child, it's quite normal now, because you said that mother is in hospitalized or
Yeah,
something.
yes, yes.
She is in hospital. So how old is she? She or he, whoever?
She's in her mid 40s.
Mid forties. Acha, acha. She is in her mid forties. Okay, okay, and she is hospitalized for 6 months. And
Yes.
child is age
He's,
of the
he's a teenager,
teenager. Okay, okay, okay.
around, I
And
guess, 17 years, I guess.
uh-huh. So, in such situation, first of all, that emotional outburst is very important. If the child is crying, this is a good sign. So this way, at least the child is able to cry. That means emotion. She is able to express her emotion. Okay, that is the main thing. That, and now need to understand that she also has to understand that whatever is going on, that is not our control. Few things are our control. Few things are not our control. Okay, so if the things are not our control, so slowly, slowly, we need to then accept it. Okay, so this way we talk to that child so that she will be able to accept that circumstances. But before that emotional outburst, talking is very important with her, whatever her emotions, that sharing part, how she feels, whatever that feelings she is having. So these things that first of all we need to encourage the child to share. Whatever, and it's quite normal to feel like this. It's absolutely okay to be sad over the situation. But at the same time, now we are trying our level best to save mother. But if it is not possible, not our control, then though we have to accept it. So enhance that acceptance slowly, slowly.
Yes, doctor. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. Doctor, we'll talk about menopause. Have you taken sessions for people who are going through the process of menopause now or have entered menopause? Because that's a whole new transition in their lives. Like many of them don't even know what's happening with them. I mean, have you, what, let me put that right. Have you had sessions to create awareness with regard to mental health and menopause? How one should be ready, what one should expect, how one should keep themselves strong with their emotions? Because there's a lot of mood swings and lot of negative thoughts and all happening. So, have you done sessions, or you would love to do them in future?
Yes, yes, I have done not very sessions, but one or two sessions that I have done regarding these issues. So actually, menopause when it happens, so actually most of the that ladies that they are having that difficulty to accept it.
Very.
I'm aging, that age factor, they're not able to accept that age factor, and that actually create that anxiety, tension, sadness, this. And another thing is that hormonal changes, that is another thing, that hormonal changes happen, that physiological changes, because of that reason they're having that sadness, that anger, irritability, is mostly that irritability, that is quite normal in that menopausal that state. Okay, so this way that we focus on that acceptance of that aging. Now we all though have to accept our that aging and all, because this is a process, and we are able to do something. If do something, then definitely we need to do. Is it possible to again go back to that stage? It's not possible. So if it is not possible, then we need to accept it. Otherwise we don't have any other uh, option. Okay, so this way that again the same thing, that acceptance, we need to help that client to accept their menopause. And this is not that your life is going to an end. Okay, menopause though happens, it's quite normal. It's a process of our living, you can say, and still you can enjoy your life. So this way we focus on that positivity, again positivity of that particular person, whatever she likes. So we can encourage her hobbies, whatever she likes, that we can encourage this thing also. And you can continue all of this.
Yes, doctor. Thank you for sharing that. You mentioned about crying earlier, just a few moments ago. Crying. You say crying is healthy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
My
Crying
son
is,
used to scold me when I used to cry. So they say, Mama, we should not see tears in your eyes. You should not cry in front of us. Don't cry. But you say that crying is healthy. And I too feel crying is healthy because once I cry and let it out, I feel like everything is washed out and I'm fine and I can face it, whatever's to come or whatever has happened. It's okay, fine. So I think crying is very therapeutic for me. Like from your perspective as well as a psychologist, you've already said that crying is good. You have to express your emotion. Yes, dear. So can we talk about crying? Like for as a woman, I do cry sometimes, and many of the women out there. Should we allow ourselves, or the men, should they allow themselves to cry? As you mentioned, crying is very, very essential to let it out. So what would you like to say about crying, like in short?
crying is absolutely very healthy, and this is a behavioral manifestation. I feel sad, so we can cry, and every emotions are required in our life, right? When we cry, that means something is, we are not liking it, whatever is happening. Or maybe we are sad, so I'm crying. If we are sad but I cannot cry, this is a very dangerous.
Mm.
Okay, and maybe that leading to that suicidal thoughts. Okay, so this way crying, that means whatever is suppressed, my that sadness or whatever, that is actually expressed this way, and expression is always is required. Sometimes we say, no, boys don't cry. This is another mistake that we do. Boys don't cry because they have the that right to cry. Everyone, whether boys and girls, we should not suppress our emotion. That is our right to cry. Okay, though that are gender bias, sometimes we do you should be, you are boy, so you should be very strong. Boys though are not crying, so that is actually is a myth. Okay,
Yes.
so this way crying is no doubt a healthy behavior.
Yes, dear. So crying is healthy. So my dear friends, if you feel like crying, please do cry and let it out. Don't keep it suppressed. Ma'am, I'd like to know about your connection with students across India. You've been connected with students from different universities. You're helping them in different ways. So in what way are you connecting with students and how could students benefit from connecting with you?
Acha. First of all, through the individual counseling session, though lots of that abroad, they contacted me and do that individual counseling session. Other that I provided is the internship program. Okay, psychology internship program. So that students from that South Central University, China, or sometimes at Christ University also. So they contacted me for the internship program, psychology internship, and CBT courses also, cognitive behavioral therapy courses also, training course.
Yes, dear. Thank you, dear ma'am. Thank you. Apart from this, apart from being a psychologist, apart from doing your work very well, how do you spend your time? What is the me time that you have with you and how do you spend it, your leisure?
my me time spending with my son, and sometimes playing with carom, ludo. So this way with my son, sometimes with my husband also watching movie, and that sometimes series watching movie. So this way I'm spending my that me time. So my me time is not only with me, but I love to spend time with my close family member, that is my husband and my son.
That's wonderful, dear. That's really nice. Ma'am, if anyone out there would like to be the next Dr. Sharbani, what is it that they have to do? What is it that they have to start learning, or how do they enter that path where you are today? See, I've asked you so many questions, twisted questions, straight questions, all types of I've asked you. You want being able to answer everything. You answered that so well. Now, if somebody would like to be in your shoes, the next Dr. Sharbani, what is it that takes, for them to reach where you are?
Love for your passion, love for your profession. If you love your profession, whatever you want to be, just love factor is very important. That I felt also that my love for that psychology and what brings me here. So this is very important part, and your passion for whatever profession that you are having, so that you won't feel that stress, right? So if you work throughout the day, and if you love your work, so you won't feel stress. You feel stress when you don't like your work. Your work seems like so boring. Maybe you are earning a lot, but your work seems very boring, or maybe very tough sometimes. So that create that stress inside us. The major factor that is love your profession. Whatever things, whatever subject you love, choose that subject first. There is no pressure. Even parents so definitely should not pressurize their child to take science. Sometimes you have to do engineer, or maybe a doctor. So this is their choice.
Yes, dear. Ma'am, we'd love to know something about West Bengal. What is it that you love about West Bengal, and which part of West Bengal are you from?
I am from Kalikapur.
Kali Kapoor. I couldn't get
Kalikapur,
that at the
yes.
start. Kali Kapoor, right?
Kolkata, Kalikapur, Kolkata, and West Bengal. My state is West Bengal. I love my people, no doubt. I'm born and brought up here. So in Kolkata, so I love that people, that Bengali food also I love, and absolutely that simplicity of that Bengalis that I love. Okay, so every environment here, environment that also is a very loving environment that I am here, and I love that Bengali people, no doubt.
Yes, dear. Now the question here is, if people from other parts of India, if they
Hmm.
visit West Bengal, which are the major tourist attraction places according to you?
I mean, in Kolkata.
Yes.
Acha, acha. Kolkata tourist attraction is that our monument museum also is very good. Alipur Zoo. This is a wonderful place to see that animals, different types of animals are there. Okay, and Science City. That's the biggest achievement in Kolkata is the Science City. Science City is a big place. There are lots of that science activities also are going on. Birla Museum. This is also a very good place to learn the science technology. These are
Yes.
the known place in Kolkata.
Yes, dear. Doctor, before we end the session, one last question, one big question connected to psychology. Now, if somebody is very depressed and feeling low, not okay with their emotions and their thought process, what's the best diet to take?
Best diet.
Yes, dear.
Actually, diet to take is the less oil food. Actually, oil enhance that anxiety level. Okay, so less oil food, it's good for health. But yeah, sometimes you can take that fast food. You can take for that dopamine rush that you can take. But mostly the homely food and that less oil food is good for the mental health.
Yes, dear. Thank you, ma'am. It would be really, what you say, unfair if I leave this question out. Do you even take sessions for senior citizens? Because even their mental health is affected towards the end. We feel they are very lonely. They feel they're into their shell, going back into their shell. They start falling sick because children don't want to connect with them. They feel very lonely. So have you all had sessions, or do you intend to take sessions for senior citizens?
Yes, yes. Not very much, but yeah, rightly, currently is going on 2, 3 sessions going on with the senior citizen. But initially I didn't do it, but now I have started doing it because I feel that they also definitely need to consult the psychologist, and it's really required for them because that generation gap, they are not able to take that generation gap, accept that generation gap. Maybe they are having few issues with their granddaughter, grandson. So these things, so I felt no, 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 they also I can do it. So recently I have started that doing counseling with them, senior citizen.
That's really nice, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing your time. We would love people to connect with you, especially
Definitely.
students, school students and college students, parents, the school managements to connect with you for counseling and for your NLP sessions that you have. And you focused on Mandela art as well, Mandela art therapy. You've explained that so well. You've explained CBT so well. And you've done justice to the platform today. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to many more interactions with you and we wish you all the best in all your endeavors.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Thank you, dear.
for
Thank you
that
for being here.
wonderful platform that you are sharing with me. I'm really grateful for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear. Thank you for being warm, gentle, and kind. And thank you for answering all the questions. I tried to put as many tough questions as I could, and you answered all of them so well. That means you're really well experienced in what you are doing.
Much. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. Dear friends, with this, we come to an end to the International Fab Talks for today. If you like what the International Fab Talk team is doing, stay connected with us. Like, comment, subscribe, and share to the International Fab Talks. Above all, share this video with the right kind of people. If any of you would love to avail the services of Dr. Sarbani, you could avail the services. We will share her contact details in the description when we share this video. And of course, don't forget to regulate your emotions, control your thought process, or, focus on your thought process in the right way. I'm scared of using the word control now. Focus your thoughts in the right direction and be a change maker. Love yourself, love your family, love the community, and as well as love the universe at large. With this, we'd like to sign off now from the International Fab Talks. Stay connected and stay blessed. Thank you, dear.